Like I'm not hardcore enough because I don't want to smell people's farts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's like, don't let me see you cover your face again. You know? Be like, oh, I can see why you're standing by yourself, bro.
Right, with that attitude.
With that attitude. It's terrible. You know? I'm going to go back over here with my friends.
Two minds, no masters. Two minds, no masters. Two minds, no masters. Two minds, no masters.
Welcome back to Two Mics, No Masters. This is Andy.
And I'm Patrick. Today we are going to talk about the Gatekeeper Paradox.
To me, gatekeeping is shutting people out because of how they look, dress, or even dance. I don't think I was personally ever gatekept, but I definitely knew where I did not belong. That's for sure. I actually have a story. Like I said, I've never been gatekept personally, but I have a first-hand experience of seeing it happen in real time. So my first experience with gatekeeping was at a show where these two dudes walked in, and just right away you could tell this was their first time at something like this. I could see right away, though, that they were being targeted by other people who didn't want them there, and they were getting physical with them to the point where they were in like serious danger. I tried to be really kind of like slick about it, kind of walked up to him and was like, hey, you guys need to leave like now. And the guy kind of looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like kind of mad at me. I'm like, oh, I want you here, man. Like, it's fine. You're here, obviously, but I'm trying to warn you. You're about to get hurt. Both of you. And he was kind of like, that's stupid, whatever. I'm like, okay, just walk away. Then I'm going to save myself because if you see me talking to you, like, I'm going to get hurt too. Yeah, that was my first introduction, I guess, to it, from what I can remember.
I can't ever recall a time being gatekept myself, but it's more along the lines of what you said. You know where you're not welcome.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's subtle.
Right.
Sometimes it's not so subtle. And it could be things like people won't tell you about a band or because they don't think you're cool enough. You don't have enough cred to know about it. There's silly stuff like that. And then there's, you don't have the right, your pants aren't big enough or your pants aren't small enough. You know what I mean? There's that sort of stuff. We did touch on some of this in a previous episode, but, I thought given some of the conversations we've had recently that it would be, we could dive a little deeper into it. I think it's relevant, especially with everybody having such, in the hardcore universe, people seem to have such strong opinions about everything. And this is really just our experience and our perspective. Like I said, I've been through situations where you just know, you can
feel it.
You can feel it. Yeah. You can sense it even if you're not totally aware of what the deal is.
I think I was lucky too. Like I've gone to some shows with some pretty, some people that knew other people that were going to be at the shows, and they vouched for me like, hey, he's with me. Oh, okay, cool. Where you could tell like if it was just me, probably, like I don't know, you could probably tell like I wasn't possibly the typical hardcore dude, like because I say in every episode probably for some reason, but I was the metal guy, so I was always like wearing probably some metal shirt, at like a Blood for Blood show or something. But because of who I was with, they didn't bother me. I was like, oh, he's fine, he's cool. So I was lucky enough for that.
The band shirt phenomenon is, I think it's less of an issue now. I think people are more, like, I see more diverse. Mm-hmm. There was a time where like, there was certain things like you couldn't, wearing a Nirvana shirt to a hardcore show was like, oh yeah, no, that's a no-go,
Even me, it's like we both listen to extreme styles of music, but to me, it's like I'd be at like, a whatever show, like a hardcore show wearing like a Brutal Truth shirt. And it's like, it's just cool to wear. I'm like looking at around like, well, this is who I am.
Yeah. And, a lot of diverse music tastes, but I think there's less stigma for wearing something that's outside of the uniform, because I think what you touched upon is what people they notice what people wear and will judge for what people are wearing, and I think that's become less of an issue.
I think so too.
A lot more
Just accepting.
Yes. I mean, there's still obviously there's some uniformity to it.
I think I saw a video on Instagram the other day where someone was filming like a show, and they were going around just like shifting the camera, and it was like there's so many like camo pants,
the camo shorts.
I was laughing so hard.
Same. I saw that same one. It's hilarious. Yeah. It's hilarious because it's truthful. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of camo short. It's it's a uniform. So there is some of that. So it is a bit silly to judge someone for not wearing that uniform. It's like, have you ever gate kept someone else?
No. I actually used to bring people to shows for their first time. Did that quite a bit. Kind of like, hey, come check this out. If you don't like it, obviously this could be your last show too. Yeah. But people. One of the people I did bring ended up going to shows for a long time. So
same. I like anyone who shows interest if they want to learn about it. And I'll give them the my experience with it, and what I know about it. And I love it, especially music. I love to share. Like,
yes,
I'll recommend a bunch of stuff, or I'll even I like to make mix. Yeah. I like to make playlists for people. So. Yeah, I encourage it. And I also want to, I mentioned before about, older people mentoring some younger folks. And I think there's some truth in that. You gotta, if you want people to know the rules and to understand, you gotta allow them the opportunity to learn, I think. And if you shut them out right at the beginning because they didn't know, it seems a bit unfair.
Yeah, because how would any of us know unless we went to shows?
Yeah. It's like arresting someone for breaking a law they were totally unaware of. Right, you're like, well, you should have known. You're like, well, how the hell am I supposed to know? Makes no sense. Some obscure.
It's true.
And there's all these nuances and subtleties to it, but I can't remember, at least intentionally, gatekeeping someone. It's pretty much the opposite. And I was introduced to hardcore shows through a friend at the time, a dude named Ryan, who sadly has passed away, but he, shared what he knew to me. And, so I like to also pass it along. If someone's genuinely interested, I'll give them the time.
Yeah, definitely. Why wouldn't you, right?
But you can also tell when people are just, I don't know, you don't really know people's intentions, but sometimes people just don't belong. And
right.
But you don't want to make any assumptions either, Did they wander in off the street?
Right.
Did they just like...
Sometimes that happens, I think, You just see like someone's like, oh, what's going on here? Like...
Yeah, it's natural. I think it's natural to be curious.
But I think it's also pretty gutsy to just go into something like that. Like, what's going on here? Like, oh, this show's happening. Like, okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it was say it was someone I cared about, family member, friend, and they wandered in and wanted to check it out, I wouldn't want them to be like afraid or assaulted
or harassed.
Yeah, harassed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because they wanted to check something out. I think that's totally reasonable. But also it's good to know when you shouldn't be somewhere,
Right.
Not every situation is safe. Yeah.
Well, I always think too, like, I think a big deal too is like when you walk into a new situation you know nothing about, you should just observe. Be in the back, observe what's going on, instead of trying to run stuff.
Yeah, I think that's good advice spoken from someone who has some experience,
Yeah, for sure.
Years to live, and just we have the benefit of hindsight. We can look back on our experience and be like, yeah, we know about this stuff, but we had to learn. Like we said in an earlier episode, there's no manual. You can read Vinny Stigma's book.
Yeah.
There's no written rule book. So, you got to learn. But I also understand gatekeeping because you want to protect, you want to protect the things that are important.
Well, it has to be real too. You just can't let people in that don't value it or don't take it serious enough. And, because for I know for us and everyone we know that used to go to shows, it's serious. It's like a real thing that people take with them forever, and it's like, it means a lot. So it's not just like this whatever thing. It became like a lifestyle. So you just can't let anybody in that's just going to disrespect that. So
I think that's quite natural for people. It is important to people. You don't want it to feel like it's being devalued or whatever,
Yep.
cheapened by someone else's presence.
Yep, exactly.
There are people come through that, are just there to sightsee and then they move on. That's cool.
Right.
Just like I said, I think I said this before, there's no harm in that, really.
I mean, when you really get into it, you have to understand the history of it, where it came from, the foundation of it, what it means to the current people that are in this thing. Yeah, and to me, this isn't just heavy music, but you have to respect whatever the thing is that you're trying to incorporate yourself into. You're just not going to join a softball league and be on the team and be a total, douche about it. You have to respect what's already happening. If you get like someone asks you to be part of this, and you just act like a total jerk, you can't disrespect something that means something to other people. Period.
Yeah, I agree. It's like that for anything,
right?
Who gets to decide? So let me back up. I think we wanna protect the thing that's so meaningful to us, and part of that is understanding history. But I think we both agree. I know that we both agree that things change, right? And so they can't stay the same forever, because that's not good either. That's not a positive thing either. Things, we get older, we get wiser, we learn, and some things are just not, they're not okay anymore. They're just not acceptable. We know better.
I think it's up to like each individual scene, because it's all different. Like there's so many different styles of heavy music. So like some are accepting and just some aren't.
No, I think that's true too. You actually make a good point.
So it depends on what scene you're walking into.
Yeah.
And even what city or state. Like you can be in a hardcore, you can go to Boston, go to a show, go to New York, it's going to be different. You have to act different.
Valid. Yeah.
It's just, and even people that, it's not about gatekeeping either. It's about, if you and I go to a show in New York, we're not in the Boston, Worcester area anymore. We're outsiders. We got to respect the New York scene. So it just is different. Even from people that have been going to shows for 30 plus years, you still have to know where you are.
Yeah.
And how to act.
This is a great point. And it's what it got me thinking about is, how do you learn? Say it's your first time. Say you're from Boston, or say you're from the Midwest scene, right? And you come to like Boston or New York.
Yeah.
Or any scene to scene.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
And if these rules are unwritten, and it's also a tale of caution where you're saying, well, it's good to know, the customs of the place you're going. But how do you know that if you've never been there?
So I think you're always safe with kind of, like I said earlier, kind of staying in the back, minding your own business, and just observing. If you're going to continue to go to that certain scene, like say you did Move, just keep going to shows. They'll see your face and they can see you're respecting the scene. And once you kind of see even who kind of is more like a bigger person, a notable name maybe in the scene, you can just tell how people treat that person. And maybe go up to somebody and say, hey, I'm a person that's going to shows from Southern California for the past couple of decades. I just moved here. What's up with the scene? I want to become like... To me, that they recognize that stuff and they'll be like, oh, cool, yeah, come on, man. Like, come on in here, we'll kind of show you the ropes of how things run in the New York scene or something, So.
Be respectful.
Yeah.
especially if you're away from home. Be respectful.
Yeah. And another thing too, I always thought of is going. I always use New York as an example because we've been to a bunch of shows there too. But it's like if I'm not around people that is kind of my friends and crew, well, not that I would act stupid anyway, but I'm certainly going to like act correct being somewhere where I have nobody.
Yes.
And they can tell usually like if you and I show up somewhere else now, we've got like, we look older. So it's like these guys are probably been around the block, so they probably know.
We do look a bit seasoned.
Yeah.
So we usually don't, I mean, I don't have I don't usually have any problems. So you're right. Get to learn and.
Yeah, and I get it. Everyone gets excited and eager. I love this culture. I just want to jump in the pit. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if you literally have nobody, it's just you like at this thing. I wouldn't recommend it. Just kind of ease into it. Let people know who you are for a while. Like they'll notice you. They might not say anything or introduce themselves or whatever, but they'll see you. If you keep coming and they can see you're being respectful and maybe you're checking out merch or whatever, cool.
If you've been to a bunch of shows in your local area, say even within your own state, within, say, a 100-mile radius of your home, and you go to another place and you think you're a hotshot because you've been to a bunch of shows, and you go in there and you start acting like a big deal and being disrespectful, chances are you're going to get a not so great response from people. And it's like traveling anywhere. It's no different. It's good to know the social norms and customs of the place you're at.
I mean, you're essentially in someone else's home.
That's correct.
We should all act correct in someone else's house.
Yes. And it sounds a bit territorial. And I guess it is.
It is, but I think with every right too, because if a certain group of people have been going to this one area for a long time, going to shows there, of course it's territorial. They're going to have respect for their area.
Yes.
You can't just waltz in and be like, hey, I'm the big dog now. It's like, yeah, that's not. You're going to get a welcome, but it ain't going to be a happy one. So
hey, you protect it like you would want to protect your home,
Exactly.
It's an extension of your home.
Yeah, just have respect. That's all.
Yeah.
Just have respect. Pretty simple.
Yeah. It's simple. It's hard for some people.
And I get it too, because I remember my first show. I don't honestly remember if I did get in the pit, but I remember it was difficult not to. Because I remember immediately, it didn't take long probably for you too, where you're like, oh, yeah, I belong here. Oh my God, this is like, I love this. This experience, the live show, the bands. And I had a ton of friends at my first show, so I definitely felt pretty safe, And I say that, and then I know one of the people I went with got literally knocked out cold. But anyway, regardless, it was safe, and because I knew a ton of people, and nothing was going to go down. It was a cool show. And that's another different thing too. If you go with a bunch of people, I'm not saying go with a bunch of people and act disrespectful, because you can now because you have a crew. It's like, don't do that either. I'm just saying there's different situations. So know the situation you're in, know the circumstances, and just regardless, have respect and act the way you should.
Yeah. Don't be a dick. Yeah. My first show, I don't remember if I got in the pit either, but there are pictures of me shortly thereafter at a quicksand show, like running across the stage. So
nice.
On my way to stage dive. So I'm assuming I had already advanced in levels.
Yep. I think I remember thinking to myself, what do I do? How do I do this?
Yeah.
And I think maybe kind of realizing like, oh, maybe everyone's got their own kind of thing, their signature to their dance moves. You just learn from doing, and you just get better at it,
Yeah. I've seen videos and pictures of myself, and they're not attractive. Yeah. But I wasn't concerned with how I looked, really. I was just...
Which was actually the best part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, no one else did either. They just had fun.
And as far as developing style, you walk, you learn.
Yeah.
And then you develop your own style. You put your own spin on it. Very similar to skateboarding. I think for a long time, hardcore's got away from that, where it was just like straight kicking and punching violence. And not a whole lot of style behind it. But now, lately, I've been seeing more style, less same. Everybody's just kind of doing the same thing, and
which makes no sense because music hits everyone different.
yes,
So how could you do the same move? It doesn't make sense.
yeah. You gotta have the core moves,
Right.
You know?
right.
you know. You gotta have those in your repertoire, but you gotta, you know,
You can still pick up change, but you have to have
totally
your own
start the lawnmower.
right. Exactly.
You know, make it some pizza. Like there's all kinds of variations.
Market basket. I know for me personally, and another thing is too, if like back in the day, seeing Overcast, I would dance a certain way.
Yes,
But then seeing, say, Only Living Witness, I dance different.
yes,
Because they're not the same band. How could you feel this? I don't feel the same. I go off differently. You know, my body moves differently.
yeah. You don't do the same dance steps to every song. You know, that's lame.
Different. I mean,
They hit you in a different way. They feel a different way, as you just said.
yeah.
You know, and I responded differently depending on the band, the situation. You know, where I was.
There's a lot of factors.
There's a lot of factors. You know, but it wasn't also a room of everybody just swinging around like windmills.
See, imagine though, we're telling these stories now because it was a huge part of our life. Still is. Imagine if we were gate kept. We wouldn't have this whole experience.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, so it kind of brings it back to the point of this episode. You might be gatekeeping somebody that truly doesn't belong. I don't know. I hate to use that language. I don't like shutting people out of anything. It's life, whatever. People can experience whatever they want. But I just think if we were gate kept and we never were able to experience going to shows for all these decades, we wouldn't be sitting here for one thing. We probably wouldn't know each other actually at all. Mm-hmm. And our lives would be totally different, you know?
And I don't expect every live show to be a hardcore show.
No.
And that's what I mean when I tell people to read the room. Like what environment are you in?
Yeah, I mean, I saw if people remember the band Seamless, members of like Jesse from Killswitch was a singer, and a bunch of different band members. But I've seen them. Then they're like a rock and roll / kind of stoner. So you're not pitting for that. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just it's a vibe band. You just chill out. You know, some headbang going on, some grooving, and drink a beer kind of band. They were playing, and a few of us are standing there watching them play, and people are trying to get like crazy. And I remember just looking at the guy. I don't like telling people what to do because people do whatever the hell they want. I don't care. I remember grabbing the guy by the shoulder, like, dude, no. Just no. This is not. I think I pointed to other people like, everyone's just chilling and having a good time, man. This is not the situation for this. It's not the right place or vibe or band. And you kind of look at me like, dude, it's just not. I don't know. I'll have to tell you.
And how did the person respond?
Wasn't excited.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of got it though after a minute, like he kind of looked around like, oh yeah, just, there's like, myself, my buddy, we knew a bunch of other people, like, women stand there. It's most people would hold in a beer because it's the kind of band it is, And it's like, we can knock everyone beer out of their hands and these women down. Like,
yeah,
we're just watching some rock and roll.
Right. And that's a good example of time and place, like being aware of where you are and okay, you want to dance hard and throw around,
and right, and who am I?
A couple of spin kicks, right,
to tell this guy how he feels it,
right. But if the rest of the room,
right,
is saying this is not the place for it,
right, that's true too.
Is it not? Is it truly not the place, or is it the other people? You know what I mean?
Well, I think too. It's like, yeah, if he did start like actually smashing it, people would be like, you're going to ruin a lot of people's nights, probably.
Yeah.
Because the setting here right now and the vibe you're getting from the band is, guys, just like groove out with us and just have a good time. And don't worry about getting hit. That's the vibe.
Seamless has hardcore roots, but they're not necessarily a hardcore band.
Right.
And so people who go to hardcore shows expect a certain experience or want a certain experience, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But again, read the room, man. It's not the time or place. This time, you just hold that shit back, man, and save it.
Right.
save it for the next one. You know, the next Real Hardcore show or whatever.
Who knows? The guy this been his first time seeing Seamless.
Totally.
And he might have been like, "This is Jesse from Killswitch."
Yeah.
So he's already got that mentality, but it's like, you know, Pete was in Overcast and like the members of Unearth. But like, no.
Totally.
It's not those bands though. It's not that. It's not metal. It's not hardcore. It's, you know, it's chill. It's still heavy, but it's not, you know, like if you mention Stoner Rock, it's more.
That's a good example because it's not necessarily gatekeeping. It's more just social regulation. It's just people saying, look, this sort of behavior at this particular time is not okay or welcome or appropriate.
I was trying to protect other people.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, I'm kind of pointing like, well, there's ladies standing right here, you know, and there's other people that don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
So.
And there have been other times where I've been in a room and people are flying everywhere and you look around and everybody's swinging.
Yes.
And
yeah,
that's the time for that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Time and a place. But I think people try too hard to force what they want on everyone else.
Right. Yeah. I want to be like, I want you to have a good time, but I don't want it at everyone else's expense.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. Like if I was going crazy, I did back then. I felt bad when I hit somebody, but
yeah,
like now, like
still, no, yeah, I've
like if you don't feel bad about it, then like
no, I never want to hurt anybody.
Ever, I would have some questions about your
exactly.
I mean, whatever. So who gets to decide though? Like who decides who and what belongs?
I just think there's unwritten rules for each scene.
Yeah. Is it a collective scene decision?
So okay. Actually, I have an experience that we probably both were a part of. At 490, when that person came in during, I believe, Only Living Witness.
Yes.
Off the street. Oh, this is a great example, actually. Off the street, some rando.
Yes.
Walks down the stairs and just starts railing people in the face.
Yes.
And
I was actually one of the people that got hit, and I was pressed into a corner.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and that person, the whole collective scene, made a decision to end the problem, I should say.
Yes, and remove that person.
Yes, they were removed
with
force.
Yes, I was going to say with prejudice, but with force.
With force, with extreme force.
Yeah.
But they were exited from the place, and it's like, and that is exactly what I mentioned a few times. I think today is like, don't go into a situation acting like you own the place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's right or wrong, what happened to you, that's going to happen. Because people are going to be like, no, this is our place. It's not how things go.
Yeah, that's a great example of collective decision. They decided that they were going to take out the trash, so to speak, metaphorically. Mm-hmm. And they did that. And they acted spontaneously.
Right.
That's a great example of that.
It could have went totally different. The guy could have come in and possibly even...
It could have went very different.
He could have actually come in and still got in the pit and just jumped around with everyone and probably would have been fine, actually.
Yeah.
But once you start just like... It's like, because that dude had no idea, guess what? Everyone's friends.
Yeah.
You just hit someone's like quote-unquote brother or sister because everyone's friends and family.
And also, that guy... this is a part of the story that gets left out. So that guy... when he was coming down the stairs, was talking about how he was going to like mess everybody up and, look at all the freaks and, like, so he came in with an agenda of causing problems, and he did. And that was a mess around and find out moment.
Yeah. And it was like, almost like, okay, you hit one person, maybe he doesn't know.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh no, another person. Okay. Guess what?
Yeah.
Now this is happening.
It was like a swarm of bees.
Yeah, that was insane.
I think that goes beyond gatekeeping. That's really that's a matter of protection and defense, and also setting boundaries for people who aren't respecting, even if they're unwritten boundaries, like they're sort of social boundaries.
Yeah.
And when you cross it, there's a consequence for that, and I think that's a good example. But things like, how people dress, or, this notion that we talked about earlier of getting consent. Everyone must give consent anytime they're touched, and how realistic it is that. There's all these nuances to it. Is it gatekeeping, or is it just trying to protect a value that people hold dear,
right,
and want to keep that from being diluted or changed,
right,
especially if what's being asked doesn't make sense.
Right.
I don't have an answer for it. I'm just, I'm trying to come at it from these different perspectives, sort of based on, what I've experienced. And
I think of too, a funny one is Barney from Napalm Death. He looks ridiculous on stage. I'm not being mean, but the way his stage, he looks like a spastic, lunatic.
Yes.
He's just no rhythm. He's just all but that's rhythm to him, obviously. But the way he moves, you wouldn't think he sings for a grindcore band. No. He looks so out of place to me. But he's a legend. He's one of literally probably the greatest grindcore band of all time. And it's if he was Gatekeeper, hey, you don't have the right stage presence for this band.
Or the right look.
Yeah, exactly. The right look, exactly. He's up there wearing suspenders but he's in Napalm Death.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him recently and he had the classic suspenders look that he had, with the black pants.
Totally.
T-shirt tucked in with the suspenders on, which is his classic look. I'm sure he knows how he looks when he dances around.
I'm sure.
At this point. But you're right.
He doesn't care.
Yes. And you don't expect it, because when you hear the music, that's not what you're expecting.
You pictured some long hair, big dude. And he's actually a pretty tiny guy. Mm-hmm. And short hair, and just looks like he should be in a suit or something, Yeah. It's funny.
And you bring up a good point. I think sometimes we're quick to dismiss people or push people away too quick. I think we're too quick sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Before people can even, they're just kind of poking their head in what's going on, guys? And we're like, fuck it, screw you, guy. Out of here.
Nice pants, get out of here.
Yeah, right. Get out of here.
I mean, if I was gatekept for every stupid thing I ever said, as in first impression, you just get nervous and say something dumb, I wouldn't probably know anybody.
Yeah. If we're always pushing people out and we never let new people in,
the scene's going to die.
Yeah, it's going to die. We got to be mindful that our gatekeeping isn't fueled by nostalgia.
Well, yeah, because nostalgia feels good.
Yeah, that's right.
You think about something and it brings back a great memory. Yeah. So it's that's the way it should be. That's the correct way.
That's the way it should be. Exactly my point. Yeah, well said, dude.
But then the person standing next to us doesn't have that nostalgic feeling, so it's doesn't mean anything to them. So they like a newer band that you go, well, I don't like them because they don't make me feel like this. Yeah. But it makes them feel like that.
Yes.
And they might be a newer band that is going to keep a scene growing and going on. So
there are a lot of those bands, and some of them I don't care for.
Right.
And some I do.
Exactly.
But I don't perpetually live in 1995.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's a danger too, because then you start keeping people out because you feel like they don't represent this thing that you're nostalgic for.
Exactly.
When in really this new person's experience is already different than yours.
So is there actual harm though, you think, to letting just anyone into the scene, or is gatekeeping necessary?
Yes. I think there is a harm. I think it's necessary because I think there's a harm for letting just anybody in. It's that old saying, the one bad apple. And it's sort of that thing. You want to welcome new ideas and new people, and you want to welcome positive change while also keeping out the things that as a matter of personal principle just aren't acceptable anyway. So there's always that balance. And not everybody sees eye to eye on every particular issue, but there's a lot of commonalities there, which is what I think helps unify this scene. So when somebody comes in and starts, I'm trying to get away from sounding so defensive about it, you got to pay your dues.
Yeah,
because it's not so much as that. It is that, but it's not that simple. I don't think it's that simple at all. You also don't want people to come in and start telling you that everything you do is wrong and this is the way they want it. And you know what I mean? And I think that happens too with I think there's some generational differences that can clash, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who's right? You know, we're back to the who makes the rules. I think I'd rather take the time to try to tell somebody. You know, you can't do that with everybody. I mean, like, can I try to talk to every person on your show? Give them,
Right.
like, critique on, like, their,
Got a clipboard.
Yeah. You're like, so sneakers, check. Shirt, one size too small. So we're going to one notch down for that. Yeah. So I watched your spin kick. That was kind of weak. But your 2-step was spot on. Great rhythm, great technique. Overall, you get a B+. Your friend, however, oof, we're going to ask him to go outside. There is a tutor waiting for him. After he receives proper education and instruction, he will be given the opportunity to return, at which time he will be reevaluated.
It's funny.
It is funny. So, and we can make fun of it because in the end, it's not that, it's serious and it's important,
Sure.
but it's not that serious, man. Like,
Right.
like, bro, chill. You know? I think it can be harmful and it can be helpful.
Yeah.
I feel like we're constantly riding that line. Some people are blatantly like just gatekeepers.
Some people are even like that with music. Like, if it's past this year, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's old.
Like you're missing like tons of great music.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it, which is a great point because, you know, there's a lot of stuff from last year that I'm just now discovering. And had I known about it last year, it would have got a lot of listens. So the fact that it's last year's is, I'm more interested in the fact that it's great music.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
Yeah. I don't care what year it's from. Really. I like to discover new stuff. And there's not the demo core where they're like, oh, I only like their demo. I'd be like, no, you don't, dude. Nobody likes that demo.
Right, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. Nobody likes it. Stop.
They made that in your mom's kitchen.
Right.
I was there.
Your mom made brownies after.
It was delicious.
It was delicious. Yeah. Be like, she made them nut free.
It's very considerate of her.
Yeah. Because, like, Clarence has a fucking nut allergy. So, Clarence, he's the guitar tech.
Yeah. Gatekeepers of the faith.